You have something special. You have greatness in you. I have my very good friend here. He's a speaker, he's an author, he's a trainer, he's a husband, he's a father, and he's my spiritual son, and I love him very much. Chis'mere Mallard is a young man who's making a difference in people's lives. He's making an impact on a regular basis. It has been said that most people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65. Well, that's not Chis'mere. He's fired up and hungry. I want to first of all ask you, how did you become familiar with self-development, and how long has it been a part of your life?
I became familiar when I first picked up your book.
Oh, Live Your Dreams?
Yes, Live Your Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Being born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I grew up in a broken home, I dealt with a lot of setbacks in life.
Yes.
And at the age of 20, I was going through an epiphany, a crossroads of life. We all have been through some type of issue from our past. There's a saying, I remember hearing you saying it, you may be over your past, but your past isn't over with you.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's from a movie called Magnolia with Tom Cruise. But what you've decided that your past does not have to define you.
Absolutely.
When did you decide that you were going to be self-definitional?
At the age of 20, when I found myself on the bathroom floor after dealing with the setbacks of being raised by my mother and my grandmother without my father. My father was in the same city, but he was what I call a telephone dad. He would call me on Friday. I had my bags packed, ready to go, excited to see my father. And then he would call me and say, I won't be able to make it. Something came up. And the following week, he said, I'll come in and I'll see you. I'll pick you up. You come spend the weekend with me. And I had my bags packed again. I was excited. I was talking to my friends at school about being able to go spend some time with my dad that was never in my life. And guess what? He called on the telephone again. And he says, I cannot come and see you. And then
He said, I cannot come and see you?
yes, he said, I cannot come and see you.
Did he say why?
He didn't say why. He said something came up. He always said something came up, and it happened the third time. And then that's when I took the telephone out of anger and I threw it against the wall. And after that, I started to develop a lot of anger toward my father. I'd already been labeled a slow learner. I was told that I would never amount to much. And at the age of 12, I was molested. And at the age of 20 is when I was faced with the crossroads of life. I found myself on the bathroom floor getting ready to commit suicide. I had tears rolling down my eyes. On the outside, the birds were singing. On the outside, the sun was shining. But on the inside of me was darkness.
So what interrupted that moment for you that brought you to a place of awareness that says, I'm not going to do this?
When I was dealing with that at that moment, something inside of me spoke to me. Give life another shot. Something inside of me said to stand up and keep moving forward. And then I decided to stand up. I decided to rise up. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Chis'mere, people have told you that you'll never amount to anything. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you've even told yourself that you'll never amount to anything. In my mind, there was a perpetual story. See, Les, I know you know this, and those of you that are watching this, there's a conversation that is always playing on inside of our minds.
Yes.
Is that story positive? It is going to enhance your life, or is that story negative? It's perpetual. It's going on.
Yes.
So I had that story planned, and then I remember looking at myself in the mirror and saying one letter and four words: I will not give up. I told myself that I'm the Moses of my family. Chis'mere, you will not give up. And I told myself, if anybody moving forward tells you something, you look at yourself and say, I will not give up. So those words resonated with me. Sometimes we got to just pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and keep moving. There's going to be some people that are not going to be there for you.
Yes. You know, something you said though earlier, give yourself another shot. That is major, because there are people who give up. They feel helpless and hopeless. And they decide to take themselves out. According to the CDC, the Center for Disease and Control, over 3,000 people committed suicide last year in a country that people risk death getting here. They try and outswim sharks, try and outrun a Jeep barefooted to get here. They see this as the land of opportunity, but yet and still, there are people who do give up. And you're taking the position, I will encourage myself. You're speaking those words to yourself in spite of the circumstances. in spite of the adversities, in spite of the stuff that you have gone through. Elsie Robinson said things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. You are a life coach, you're a trainer, and you're a speaker. What are the things that you're sharing with your audiences and people when you speak to them?
Talk about purpose. John Maxwell says that success is knowing your purpose in life. See, I had to find my purpose. I had to find my gift. I had to find my talents. So he says it's knowing your purpose in life and growing to reach people and to sow seeds in their life. And I realized what one of my friends, Roy Martinez, said. He says that desire will always outbeat talent. Some people can be very talented, but if you have no desire, then the talent won't take you very far.
Yes.
So you have to find your purpose, and you have to have the will to win. You have to have a desire. Find out, why is it that you're on this earth? We're all born with a gift. We're all born with a talent. And you have to interrupt the conversation that is playing in your mind. Because if you don't interrupt it, it's going to keep going on every single day until you do it.
Yes.
And the conversation will become reality.
Tell me, how did you meet Veronica? Where were you when you first saw her?
I met my wife, a beautiful wife, at Sam Houston State University. I was 21, she was 23, and I said, "The Lord is my shepherd, I see what I want."
She's beautiful outside and inside. She's an incredible person.
She's an amazing woman, and she's always there and helping me with anything that I need. She is an amazing mother, and she has amazing dreams and goals of herself, and she's always pushing me to do better and to do more. And she tells me, "Chis'mere, I believe in you." She is my biggest cheerleader.
Yes, and you have 3 wonderful children too. And as you look at yourself and look at the goals, what is it that you hope to accomplish with the people that you train as a mentor, as a coach, and as a speaker for corporations, for businesses? What's the primary goal that you want them to begin to envision for themselves?
I want them to realize, and I have this saying at the end of my videos, you have unlimited, untapped potential. It's inside of you, not because I say so, but because I know so. So I want the companies and I want the individuals that I coach, I want them to realize the potential for their company. If they need to increase sales, well, guess what? You have not even hit the mark yet. If you're an individual and you're in search for your first product or your first job or your first business, we need to develop strategies, we need to develop a plan of action, and we need to execute.
Yes.
It's our daily agenda will define our success. It's
This
not
is
what
true.
you do just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's what you do Monday through Sunday for some people. And I believe that you must dream every single day. Don't even take the weekends off.
Something you said that really grabbed me, and I really admire that about you, because it's an example that you are the message that you bring. You said that if you're not an expert on it, you don't want to talk about it.
Absolutely.
That is great. I love that. Because what he does when he comes in to train, he's going to talk to you about something he has done. As a sales professional, he brings his checks. You know, you ask the question, "Where's the beef?" He'll say, "Here it is, whoop, right here." Absolutely. And so he's teaching what he knows. I believe you don't lead where you don't go, and you don't talk but about things that you don't know. And where did you get that philosophy from in terms of saying, I don't want to just be a mouthpiece on this, but I want my results to speak for themselves, that really gives me the credibility and the authorization to speak on this?
One of my number one cheerleaders, and that's my grandmother. I learned a lot of work ethic through my grandmother. She
What's her
would
name?
clean home. Rose Jackson.
Rose Jackson.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've learned a lot of work. My work ethic came from my grandmother, Rose Jackson. She cleaned homes for a living, and she's still cleaning homes to this day. I've tried to get her to move down with the family, but it's keeping her alive. She
That
says
activity keeps
that
her going.
activity. So I would see her leave early in the morning. She'd come back late at night, and she looked at me in my eyes one day, Mr. Brown, and she says, "Your integrity is everything. When you tell someone that you can do something, make sure you know you can do it. I can clean homes better than anyone," she says. So that's what I get hired to do. So when companies invite me in and they say, "What is it that you can train us on?" I can explain to them, and I can show them my speaker sheet and explain to them I can teach on leadership, emotional intelligence. I can teach on goal setting,
And sales.
et cetera, and sales. And I can show the check when it comes to sales.
Got it.
I got the beef.
Come on now, that's what we're talking about. When you need a speaker or a trainer, if you want to create different results than what you now have, sometimes you need a third-party validation. Chis'mere has my stamp of approval because he's a message that he brings. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
keeping my legacy alive.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
Love you too.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.